Hey, when you feel like come up here, thank you. Alright, welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, classic / non-classic. This is episode number 2498 and Doubleshot 2392. 2 episodes from now will be the 2500th episode. I'll figure out something for that one. Alright. We have a JLA trade and Teen Titans. This JLA trade is the last trade to discuss, because Volume 9 I have already got done. Yep, all done. We have JLA Volume 8, which collects issues 94 to 106, plus JLA Secret Files 2001. Now, issues 94 to 99, written by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. Yes, the original creative team from KX from the 80s. My guess there was a patch things up since they're falling out after John Byrne left the book, because I heard they did have falling out, and of course they didn't like each other very much. Now, what's the story behind these particular 6 issues? It's a backdoor pilot of Doom Patrol. Well, a brand new Doom Patrol volume, coming 1 year after the cancellation of the previous volume for the series, where this book establishes, oh yeah, this is the first time Doom Patrol shows up, and yeah, then John Byrne does that book by himself, writes and draws the whole thing without Claremont for some reason. Like, you bring in Chris Claremont for this story and you don't have him work on Doom Patrol? Yes. Now, I point out in my comic history one where Chris Claremont is one of those creators who work on both Avengers and the Doom Patrol. Well, JLA, of course. The one issue he worked on Avengers, he also worked on Avengers in number 10, is that he worked on Avengers, I think it was like 102, I think it was. It was the issue where the Avengers fought the Sentinels for the first time. And of course, this story involves vampires, a bunch of weird stuff. And that's pretty much what this book, the storyline is. It's a backdoor pilot Doom Patrol that lasted for 18 issues. Yeah, John Byrne established a lot of retcons in this book, and people don't like the retcons. I've read the book. It is good. It just, I don't like the retcons, because it ignores all the previous stuff. And then when Jeff Johns did Teen Titans, like just a couple years after this, it kind of in a way undid all those retcons. And Infinite Crisis brought everything back to canon. Now, issue 100 for JLA. So, how did they celebrate JLA 100? By also be a backdoor pilot to another series, this being JLA Elite, a 12-issue maxi series done by Joe Kelly. Yep, we also the Secret Files 2001, mostly puts the Elite come back together to serve as the Black Ops team for the Justice League. That's literally what this issue is. I'm like, really? This is how you celebrate 100 issues by being a backdoor pilot to a completely different series that would be just 12 issues. Yeah, it's like, okay, so after having, by the way, this was the 3rd time that a story for JLA was served as a backdoor pilot to an actual series. Though at least JLA Elite was a limited series, not an ongoing one. Yep. But you're thinking, okay, so you've already kind of explained issues 94 to 100 and the Secret Files book. But here's the obvious question. What about issues 101 to 106? Well, mostly put, these are a series of one-shot issues. Yeah, it's basically a six-issue story arc. There are 6 loosely connected issues. No, seriously, that is what these issues are. Come on. Thank you. It's called Pain of Gods. Each issue focuses on a different member of the jail, and the cover of the book is basically about, well, it's basically 101. Now, first issue focuses on Superman. It's called Part 1, Man of Steel. 102, Scarlet Speeder, focus on obviously the Wallace Flash. And these are the issues done by Chuck Austin. Yep, Chuck Austin does these issues. Issue 3, Emerald Warrior, which focuses on John Stewart, who joined the team in this part of this. By the way, Ron Garney's in the artwork for this one. Then we have part 4, Mans of Famar. This basically felt like a follow-up to some old classic Marsh Manhunter stories from the 50s. Where he's going by the alias John Jones in the story. I thought it was really good. Part 5 was basically all about Wonder Woman. And then the finale for the storyline, part 6, The Dark Knight, focusing on Batman. Yeah, and there's also this character named Joey Abernathy who only appears in just this story arc. Yep. Just in these 6 issues. And you might be curious, okay, so who takes... Now, here's the strange thing, though. The book itself managed to last for, like, about 2 more years before being restarted as Justice League America. Now, Kurt Busiek takes over with issue 107. As part of now, that's not part of this trade here, but I've discussed it before. It's called Syndicate Rules. It is, I believe, the penultimate story arc of this whole run. Yep. Syndicate Rules, if you're really curious. That was simply the return of the Crime Syndicate America, except they're basically part of the Anti-Martin universe. Now, Syndicate Rules was, believe it or not, 8 issues. Yeah, this was an 8-issue story arc that was collected twice. First, his own separate trade, and then it was collected as part of the JLA Volume 9 stuff. And then, now you might think, was Kurt Busiek as a writer for this storyline, for this series? Nope, we have Jeff Johns, Alan Hemberg. Then we have JLA Crisis of Conscience, which is a Infinite Crisis storyline, which ends with issue 119. You thinking, is that the last issue of this series? Nope. Not the last issue. The series continues on for a little while with Bob Harris as the final writer. It continues on, I think, for about issue 125, I believe it was. I think it was 125 or 126. Yeah, it was like 126. It managed to last, even after this. So, basically, if you're curious, though, Volume 9 collected from issues 107 to 125. Roughly 18 issues, plus Jacob Fowler's book. Yeah, Jerry Ordway did some artwork here with this one. Yeah. Mostly had Chris Claremont, Joe Kelly, who does issue 100. Claremont does 94 to 99. Chuck Austin does 101 to 106. Joe Kelly does 100. You have John Byrne does the artwork for issues 99 to 94, 99. You have Ron Garney, Doug Mankey, and that's pretty much it. The cover art is by John Byrne and Jerry Ordway. And with this, basically, I'm done with JLA. Yep, JLA is all done. Let's get my final thoughts on this particular series. I thought this was a really good series. Yep, had some really good writers with it. First, you had the awesome Grant Morrison book, occasionally bringing Mark Waid to do a couple of fill-in issues, and then he took over fully as the writer right after Grant Morrison left the book. Yeah. Mark Waid was not there very long. Nope, he was not. Excuse me. Yeah, so here are your writers for you. You have Grant Morrison on issues, the first 17 issues, 22, 31, 34, the third 41, and issue 1 million. Mark Waid did issues 18, 21, 32, 33, 43 to 58, and 60. Chuck Dixon just did one issue, 59. Joe Kelly did 61 to 76, 78, 79, 90, and issue 100, which was his last issue of the book. Denny O'Neil did 91, 93. Chris Claremont, of course, did 94, 99. Chuck Austin, 101, 106. Kurt Busiek did issue 61 and 107, 114. Basically, Syndicate Rules storyline, the whole entire thing. Jeff Johns did 115, 119 with Alan Helmberg as the co-writer, and Bob Harris as the final writer for the book. And aside from the also artists like Howard Porter, Brian Hitch, and Doug Mankey. And the same thing is quite weird that this book was very good for most of it. And then, like, for some strange reason, I don't know why in the world this was, apparently DC thought it would be a good idea to have the book, like, there was a total number of about three different storylines that basically serve as backdoor pilots to spin-off books. Now, here's something I find interesting. Did you know, in the original collected trades, they managed to collect almost the entire series, except for issues. Get this. Okay, in the original publication trades, these issues were skipped. Do not know the reason for. They were 83 and 90 to 93, along with issue 100, were not put in trade. And you're thinking, really? They were not put in trade? Yeah, they weren't. Do not know the reason for it. They just weren't. I at least got to praise these soft covers. That's where basically this comes from. Though in the case of the first one, I kind of in a way covered that already, thanks to the new printing of New World Order, which like the rest of stuff anyways. That was the second printing of the book. I actually own it. But this book was really good. No really bad storylines in this book, though some of the storylines were infamous. I mean, here's the strange thing. In 125 issues, guess how many issues, guess how many stories adapted for a movie? 1. Tower of Babel was adapted for Justice League Doom. Yeah, which was an excellent story arc. And all that story arc proved to be, it was basically a lead into Identity Crisis. And strange enough, this book actually was only tied about 3 crossovers in this entire existence. The main book anyways. Joker's Last Laugh, Infinite Crisis, and a little bit of Identity Crisis, and that was pretty much it. The annuals. Okay, the annuals, for some unknown reason, I do not know why this is, until I saw the January solicits for DC. For some reason, DC kept skipping collecting these annuals. And it's baffling the reason why, like, why would you skip these annuals? If you're curious, the first annual is all about the Pope hero stuff. By the way, the story is called Suspense Detective. Let's focus on Martian Manhunter, by Brian Augustine, Aria Levy. And number 2 is probably the Ghost stuff, which that's done by Ty Templeton and Mark Pagero. And number 3 is part of the Jail 8 crossover, which the main storyline, get this, these are the annuals tied to this story arc, this crossover. Jail number 3, Batman annual 23, Aquaman annual number 5, which I think was the last one they published. Wonder Woman number 8, Flash annual 12, Superman number 11. This is volume number 11. Green Lantern annual number 8, and Martian annual number 2. A lot of these ones were the when it comes to Batman, like the last ones air published, and this was the 4th. And by the way, that was done by Lynn Kametsky, who I did hear a little while ago that he's actually going through some tough times health wise right now. Really good writer. The last annual air published, Brian K. Vaughan wrote this thing with Steve Scott. And it's part of the Planet DC stuff. This particular storyline, from what I've heard, it was mostly put just a way to introduce, like, some new international superheroes. That's mostly put exactly what these books tend to be. Yeah. That's what these books are used for. It just introduced one character, Descendere. A character who only appeared just a dozen times overall in DC history. Now, those are the annuals per se. I read them, they're not bad. It baffles me that it takes a hardcover that's released in January. It's going to be worth like $125, and that's where you can see the annual published. Yes, that is the only possible a book, a omnibus book released in January, that we're going to have this. It is baffling. the fact DC did this. Like, why couldn't you collect these in soft covers? Was the reason why that you kept skipping these annuals? Yeah, I do not know the reason for it at all. It is quite baffling, and how do any of the creators know the reason why? The only people who know that is who put together these trades. But if you collect these trades, like, wait, was there any annuals published for this thing? Like, if you're really curious about it, yes, there was 4 annuals released from 1997 to 2000. And here's a fun fact for you. Did you know DC stopped doing annuals after that for 5 years? Marvel did 1 more year of annuals before they stopped doing annuals for 5 years. And then was brought it back because of the success of the annuals for the Ultimate Universe. DC didn't do many annuals afterwards. It wasn't like every single book had that annuals. Though they kind of brought back the concept in the last several years thanks to New 52 stuff. Alright, next up we have is Teen Titans, Volume 9, On the Clock. This is the second trade that collects Sean McKeever's run for the book, collecting issues 55 to 61. This storyline is known for one infamous thing with the storyline. This storyline introduces a evil Teen Titans group known as the Terror Titans, led by a version of the Clock King. Yes, seriously. So you have Sean McKeever on the writing here with Miguel, Eddie Burrows, and Carlos Rodriguez. I've actually met one penciler, Eddie Burrows. I met one of the inkers book, Jim Fabiani. Yeah, mostly put in the case of 55, it's mostly put basically Supergirl kind of quitting the team. And it's also kind of in a way continuing the relationship between Wonder Girl and Robin, which of course they break up. It's mostly put a standalone issue. Then we have Deadbolt. Yep. Yeah, where the Terror Titans attack the Teen Titans. So you have Zadara Zatanna's cousin. We are playing pranks at the headquarters, basically. Yeah, Dreadbolt. So then we have the Terror Titans, comprised of Clock King, Disruptor, Copperhead, and Pursuer. Now, here's a little... If you look at this Clock King, you're like, wait a minute. Put a hat on him, like, that looks like the one from Batman Animated Series. And he's clearly based on him. Yep, he is. Now, here's the thing about the Clock King. The Clock King, people mistakenly assume he's a Batman villain. Well, the reason why is because it keeps showing Batman stuff. He isn't. He's a Green Arrow villain. Yep. This is Tempest Fugue. Yes. Sean McKeever brought in a character created by Bruce Timm, David Wise, and Kevin R. who appeared in the episode Clock King. Yeah. And he mostly put the same attire, except doesn't have the hat he wears. Yeah, and the Terror Titans, they're basically evil Teen Titans. Yeah. So, Copperhead, of all the Terror Titans for this group, now, I should point out, though, of all members of this group, Copperhead has been around a pretty long time. He's around, oh, actually, this new version of the character. This is Nathan Prince's second Copperhead. If you're curious, what happened to the original one? The original got killed off in the first issue of Manhunter. I think it was like not long before this. 04. This was just a few years later. This was a new Copperhead. So, Dreadbolt. This is the first appearance of this version of the character. I believe so. I think he's the second Dreadbolt. Yes. The Disruptor, I believe, was like... I believe Dreadbolt has also appeared on Arrow, except this guy fires lasers out of his eyes and returns. Yes, seriously. Now, yes, this Dreadbolt is the son of the original Bolt, who's a Blue Devil villain. Yep, a Blue Devil villain. You think, okay, what about Pursuer? Pursuer is a modern version, is basically a present-day version of the character from Legion of Superheroes. And who created Pursuer, you might ask? Jim Shooter. Yep. Yeah, for some reason we have to have basically ancestor of the original one. Disruptor. Yeah, she wasn't really around very much. No. Her name was Angela Smith, and apparently she was like a girlfriend of one of the characters. She was only here just for the story arc here, and then she appeared in the Terror Titans miniseries. And that was it for her. Yeah, she was actually the third version of the character. Yeah, the original Disruptor was an enemy of the new Teen Titans. So, by the way, he also claimed this guy named Brains Bolt, who was his father. Yeah, he's a character Bill Finger created. Yes. Yeah, so this Disruptor is the third one. Yeah, so... Yeah, and I think that Disruptor basically was dating one of the members of the team. I think possibly dating, like, Kid Devil. I think Disruptor was actually, like, dating, apparently sleeping with Clock King for some reason. Don't know why. So, yeah, then we have the Titans Tower get damaged in the storyline, so Blue does help out in fixing it. Yeah, and then, of course, you have Clock King fighting Tim Drake. Yep, the Tim Drake Robin fights him. Yep, Ravager basically was part of this group. Then she left. Yeah, by the way, in the finale for this story arc, which is 61, they take on a brand new villain known as Shockwave. Yeah, this character is another Blue Devil character. It's like, really? You gotta fight Blue Devil characters? Well, yeah, he basically he's a creation of Gary Cole and Dan Miskin. Yeah, and prior to appearing in these issues, I'm looking, I think the last appearance probably was in Action Comics. Yeah, it may have been Action Comics, maybe. Caboose Go, who knows. Yeah, he's only here for this one issue. And of course also Teen Titans, and of course, as for Kid Devil himself, well, he stops being Kid Devil with the finale of the story arc. Yeah. With his last issue here, after being Shockwave, he's renamed to be Red Devil. It's a Kid Devil. And he's like this for the rest of his era. And then of course you have Blue teasing him, and that's it. Great book. I love this. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Actually, I'm going to give it a 10 because that was really good. And I kept thinking, it's a shame we don't see comics like this anymore. Nope, not really. Yeah. And if you're really curious, though, Sean McKeever is here for a little while longer. Yes. If you're really curious, when did Sean McKeever officially leave the book? 9 to issue 82. Really? Oh yeah, really. Yeah. If you're really curious, like, okay, so how many more trades are left to go that collect Sean McKeever's run for the book? Good question. Since this was the second one, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There is basically about 5 more trades left to go that collect Sean McKeever's run for the book. He does take a brief break for 2 issues. Yeah, he does New 77, 78. Nope, he does not. Those are by J.T. Crow, who ended up being the final writer of the series. Yeah, he basically took over once he left. I think he was the writer for pretty much the rest of the run, prior to DC relaunch. Yep, that's 100% completely true. Well, not entirely. He didn't take over to issue 88, but you think, okay, so who did issues 83 to 87, you might ask? That is done by Felicia D. Henderson, who was only there for just for a very brief period of time. Yeah, she was here until about 87, and then she left. She also did a special for Static Shock and the JSA 80-page giant. Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to discussing the rest of this era because, well, here's kind of the thing about Teen Titans that I had mentioned. Well, basically the era it came out in. It came from an era that a lot of people still really think is really good. It's mostly put in an era that people miss, like seeing good quality storytelling and actually having competent writers write these books. And it's a shame we don't have a present day Teen Titans series. We have a Titans book, yes, but Teen Titans, nope. Not since the last book ended. Last book itself was something else altogether, especially since it had a really good start to it. And then they replaced the writer with somebody who was very conscious, who had not written a comic book in several years. Yeah. Not sure why, though. If I get a chance to meet Ben Percy, I'll probably ask him why did he leave both that book and Green Arrow. I would love to answer. I would love to hear the answer to that question. Yep. I thought I have time to do more, but this is going to be pretty much it for tonight. So, yeah, it looks like I'm going to do 4 anime tomorrow. It'll be One Piece, Case Closed, Spy X Family, and The Rise Are Here. Roughly 4 anime, which, not bad. Not bad at all. But hey, at least got done 2. Yep, compared to last week where I got done nothing. Like in the case of 2 anime I just went through right now. Like in the case of Girlfriend, I went through the last episode. I only went through that just a few days ago. Yeah, and basically the 2 anime I went through today, those aired releases yesterday. Today was like 1 anime and that was it. Yep, so yes, that's going to be pretty much it for particular view. Stay tuned for tomorrow for my 4 anime. A new chapter for My Hero Academia, and as of currently 1 comic corner. Yep. Bye.